What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from Perennial Artisan Ales, and they are out of St. Louis, Missouri, and this is their inverted world. So they're calling this one a West Coast-style IPA that comes in at 7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed time of review. I don't know exactly how old this can is, but it does have a best by date of December 15th of 2024, which is crazy. I think they meant to do Best Buy of 12/15/2023 because this is a West Coast IPA. I don't think they're trying to give this a year. Maybe though. Let's just say they did 12/15/23. If so, we're about 2 weeks away from that date, so we're coming in just under the gun. If it is 24, then we're more than fine. However, I do know this is a bit of an older can, and that's because this one was sent to me by a good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Curtis, so huge thanks to him for this beer. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail boxing video I did that contains all the goodies he hooked me up with. He hooked me up with 5 different beers, 2 of which are from Perennial, and this is the first of the 2 I'm reviewing. Now, the reason why I know this is a bit older is because Curtis actually told me that when he bought this, he didn't realize it was an older can, and that he drank it, like, I think it was a week or 2 before he sent out the package. He was like, it held up pretty well. So he's like, I threw it in there and I would like to see what you think about it. So here we are. Now, assuming they give like 3 or 4 months and that date is incorrect, it should be 12/15/23, then I would say that this was probably canned in the middle of August of 2023 or the middle of September 2023. So you're talking about 2.5 to 3.5 months old. So assuming it's handled correctly, it could be still quite delicious. So anyway, hops: Simcoe, Idaho 7 and Cashmere, dry hopped with Dorado, Citra and Cashmere. And the grist, they have Pilsner malt, a malted wheat, carafoam, and dextrose. So yeah, anyway, I'm using the North Park glass because they are like the current, I wouldn't say kings, but yeah, it might be the current kings of West Coast IPA. Definitely one of the more well-known breweries nowadays doing like the new school West Coast IPAs and whatnot. So for some reason that didn't open all the way, so I think we should be fine. Let's give it a pour here. Ooh, that's looking a bit lighter than I assumed, especially at 7%. All right, so we'll do something like that. Don't want to pour it all in. Oh, a little cheat there, and man, Curtis might be right. He might be right. So, okay, could be age, whatever. Does this look like a West Coast style IPA? You be the decider of that, because it does not. That looks like a hazy IPA. West Coast style IPA, whether it's old school or new school, is crystal clear. This, I can see the shadow of my hand, but I can't see my hand through it. So this looks like a new school, like hazy beer. It has just over a finger of a soap sudsy bright white colored head. That's pretty much like a straw yellow color, but it's very vibrant. It has that milky look to it. Hop custard, Christopher. But very hazy. That looks, just, you know, hey, doing the review's got to be honest, it does not look like anything like a West Coast style IPA. It looks like maybe if you said it was a hazy West Coast style IPA, sure, we'll see. But whatever, looks can be deceiving, but we'll just, you know, they're 0 for 1 based on the look of this. The cheat was real good. We'll see. Let's get a nose. The nose is fucking phenomenal. Man, it's juicy orange, tangerine, ruby red grapefruit, really sweet, juicy, like citrus. It's like you're going in for a glass of OJ or ruby red grapefruit juice. Like, just as you bring it to your mouth, it's like, oh man. There's definitely a lemon lime kind of character here as well. Some pineapple, but not like super sweet, just like a ripened pineapple, not crazy sweet, not crushed. Maybe a little bit of like a peach and a mango. Now I'm getting more of like the whole citrus fruit. So the oils, the rind, the pith, all of that in the nose is just kind of, now it's like I'm more like digging into an orange or a grapefruit and like peeling it, like the oils are bursting and you're just like, oh yeah, it's very aromatic. Little bit, for 7%, I'm surprised because I'm getting like this slight biscuity, kind of like bready, like a white bread kind of base malt, or maybe even like a little bit of a wheat thing going on. And usually I get that in like 5.5%, 6% pale ales, and this is 7% West Coast style IPA. But I will say the nose, while the citrus is accurate, really not getting anything like pine-worthy or earthy or grassy, anything that is outside of like a big fruitiness. This kind of smells like a new school West Coast IPA, but like if it was a hybrid between that and a hazy IPA, not like a straight-on West Coast style IPA. But it smells fucking awesome. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it doesn't, because it does. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Curtis. Okay. You know what? The taste is way more in the West Coast style realm. There is a very drying, moderately bitter, kind of like piney, pine resin kind of feeling, and that is really nice. This is a nice beer. This is like, the aromatically speaking, fantastic, even if not like, you know, a West Coast style IPA through and through. And the taste, infinitely more drinkable. Maybe not as good as the nose was indicating from like a fruit standpoint, but a balance standpoint, what you're looking for in the style, the nose is definitely better. Body this 7%, lower side of medium, approaching medium, a bit thin. If I was doing this blind, I'll be 100% honest with you, I would think this is like 6%, 6.5%. Because I'm getting a little bit of that malt character in there. It could be the age, but it's kind of drinking like a pale ale. Like I've had I had that Trillium pale ale recently, where again you could taste the malt, and it was great. It had like a grainy, biscuity, almost, you know, again, white bread kind of malt character, and I knew it was a pale ale just because of that. And if I was doing a blind, I would think this is a pale ale, like a West Coast style pale ale is what I would maybe say, or just like a straight on like hazy pale ale. The mouthfeel, it's way more crisp than you would think based on the look, but based on what they're going for stylistically, it's appropriate. It has like a moderate carbonation. It's crisp on the palate. Very smooth, but it's not soft. It's not creamy. It's not supposed to be. So I think the mouthfeel is spot on. Body's a bit thin. The taste for me, right up front, again, it's that malt character. It's more biscuity and white bread. Dives underneath the palate, omnipresent, never steps in the way. After that, waves of citrus, a juicy orange, juicy ruby red grapefruit, dare I say Tangelo or Tangelo, however you'd like to say. It has a little bit of lemon lime character, very big on the citrus fruit from a juicy perspective, sweet, but it has like that zesty kind of, again, like the oils from the fruit. It's like, it's the whole fruit as a whole, and it's kind of crazy because at first it was just juicy in the nose, and now it's kind of running the gamut of everything, and I think that's cool. Halfway through the palate, I get a pop of like a pineapple. Again, not so, maybe even an underripened pineapple, underripened like mango peach. And then the finish has that, I would say, slightly dank pine resin, a little bit of earthiness. This is semi to full on dry, more approaching full on dry. Moderately bitter, has a lingering kind of bitterness in the back of the throat. 7% you can't tell. Again, doing this blind, I would 100% guess 5.5 to 6%. That's what I would do. Is it good? Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I'm enjoying this one. I'm gonna have no problem throwing this one back. I guess here's a couple issues I have with the beer. If you watch my channel, or if you don't, I'm gonna just say it anyway because you know, not everyone watches all the reviews. But for me, I don't typically review to style. I feel like I review to my own personal preference. But if it's a beer trying to go for a certain style, I always try to talk about, did they nail the style for what they're supposed to, you know, be going for. And sometimes I'll give two ratings, a stylistic rating and then my own personal rating. For this, I would say this. If you pick this one up based on the premise of it being a West Coast style IPA, I think you might be a little bit disappointed. Is it bad for a West Coast style IPA? No, but this is a new school West Coast style IPA, and it's not even fully that. It's like someone took a new school West Coast IPA and married it with a hazy IPA. If you look at the beer, it's not crystal clear. It looks like a hazy. On top of that, some of the characteristics in the beer are a little bit more to the hazy realm, the New England style realm. But that finish and the mouthfeel are where I think it definitely leans towards the West Coast style as far as IPAs are concerned. At the end of the day, I'd say stylistically for like a new school West Coast IPA, this is like a 3.75 out of 5, something like that. I think that's probably where this one would land for me. I think it's good for a new school one. If you went old school West Coast style IPA, no way. But this is like more of a new school West Coast style IPA. As a beer as a whole, as just an IPA, do I dig this one? I do. So Inverted World from Perennial, I have no issues giving this a high 4 out of 5 and go 4.05 out of 5. I think that's where this one lands. I can't go much higher. I don't think, again, it's like an amazing beer. This is not, you know, setting a new standard. This is nothing that's making me scream from the rooftops and everyone needs to try it. But it's a well-made IPA, maybe not in the realm of a West Coast style IPA, as people think, but I still think it's a pretty damn good IPA. And it's an interesting beer. I think if it said West Coast-style Pale Ale, I think I'd be a little bit more inclined to agree to some degree. Anyway, price point availability, I think Curtis said this was $16 a 4-pack, so $4 a can. Kind of your going rate nowadays, $4 to $5 a can for most, 7+% IPAs, double IPAs. It is what it is. And availability, I have no idea. So Perennial here in the Buffalo, New York area, we used to get a lot of their stuff, 4, 5, 6 years ago, pretty much the mid 2010s into the late 2010s. And then we stopped pretty much getting everything from them other than Abraxas. Like, I can still go to multiple places and pick up like the 2022 Abraxas, the 2023 Abraxas. I think I'm going to pick up one of those at some point here in the next couple months because I haven't reviewed it, even though I've had that beer multiple times. I would like to review it. It's just, it comes in a 750 milliliter bottle, and it's like $30-$35. So it's one that I'd rather share than take to the dome piece myself. So we'll see if I pick that up soon. So it's cool that Curtis sent me some stuff that we just don't get Perennial stuff anymore. So to be able to try this, he also sent me a hazy IPA. So we'll see. What if that hazy IPA is like crystal clear? That would be hilarious. But yeah, availability, I really don't know for Perennial. If you see their stuff in your neck of the woods, you're probably in the Midwest, maybe a little bit down to the South, maybe into the Mid-Atlantic. I really don't know. So anyway, if you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Huge thanks to Curtis once again for this beer. He sent me a small but powerful beer mail, including my first ever side project I get to try, and I get a couple lagers from Urban Chestnut. I've heard good things about their lagers, so I can't wait to dive into those as well. So yeah, anyway, appreciate it. Till the next one. Cheers. Did I mention the 7%? Yeah, again, I think I have, because I pretty much kept calling this a pale ale based on the ABV and the mouthfeel, or the body. So yeah, I think it hides the alcohol well. I just would prefer probably not to be, based on the fact that it's an IPA and it drinks like a pale ale. I'm more impressed when it's the other way around. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.